Wham Baam Securitycam is back with a new episode of fresh videos from our fans. This may be the most exciting episode yet, filled with tons of crashes, crime, creepiness, and cute cam, of course. 'Twas the night after Christmas, and outside Mark's house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Mark was asleep when a crash broke the calm as a little too much eggnog caused quite the alarm. Once Mark had awakened, he dashed to the door to find a flipped car, but there was much more. The driver stepped out unharmed by the spill, a sight that gave Mark a foreboding chill. "Need help?" Mark asked kindly, but his offer would fail. "I'm drunk," the man yelled. "Take me to jail." Mark stood amazed at the stranger's demand, but thankful the tall tree had been all that he'd rammed. Had it not stood so strong in its place, his Tesla would have been scattered all over the place. Sirens soon shattered the winter's serene as police and paramedics arrived at the scene. The driver continued his loud brazen plea, "Take me to jail, I'm drunk, can't you see?" The police, with patience worn thin by his tune, cuffed him and took him away fairly soon. He had no insurance, the cherry on top, and his car was then towed to a car repair shop. Though no one was hurt save the tree's injured pride, Mark sighed with relief that the chaos would subside. So heed this, Wham Bam fam, wherever you roam, don't drink and drive. If you're wasted, stay home. For a day or a life could be shattered by you. Stay sober and stay safe all the year through. Trey sent us a similar video, only his neighbor didn't have any trees to protect him from disaster. Unlike the previous incident, this one was caused by pedal misapplication. Trey's neighbor actually ran into his own house, which sadly caused an increase in their insurance premiums. Trey told us that between the house and the car, repairs took over 7 months and cost over $11,000 US. Talk about an expensive mistake. Trey wanted to shout out his wife and 3 kids. He's super proud of them. Here's hoping they always put their feet on the correct pedal. Here's someone else having a bad day. Keely told us this delivery driver's forgetfulness caused major damage to the gate, and it will probably have to be replaced altogether. Thankfully, insurance will be paying to repair or replace it. In the meantime, they have another way to get in and out of their property. Up next is a mystery that likely would have gone unsolved if not for the watchful eye of Morris's security cam. Now you see his trash can, and now you don't. Morris was confused when he got home from work and couldn't find it. After checking with his family members and getting nowhere, he checked his security cam to see what had happened. What he discovered was not what he was expecting at all. A street sweeper had cleaned up the garbage can before dragging it down the street. Morris eventually located it about 10 doors down the street. Other than some scratches, the can wasn't damaged. When he came home with it, one of his daughters reminded him to send Wham Bam his security cam footage. Thanks for the laugh, Morris. If you have a security cam video to share with us, use the link in the description and you might see your submission in a future episode. Our next story also involves a theft, but this one was no laughing matter. While Arjan was at work, some people arrived in a red car before parking in the space next to his. One of the occupants proceeded to break into Arjan's car. Once the door was open, he stole Arjan's wallet, which contained bank cards and cash. That wasn't all he stole, though. The thief then stole Arjan's entire car. We can't tell how he managed to start it, but once he did, he followed his accomplices as they all left the crime scene. Arjan discovered the theft of his vehicle after his work shift ended. He found out what had happened when his manager provided him with this security cam footage. He called the police, then waited for them to respond for over an hour, but they never showed up. Sadly, he never saw his car or anything that was in it ever again. His bank did let him know that the thieves had used his cards to spend 40 New Zealand dollars at McDonald's and $150 at a vape shop, among other purchases. Arjan replaced his stolen car with a Toyota RAV4, but he told us his next car will definitely be a Tesla. Kai's father's SUV was parked on the street when, all of a sudden, a pickup slammed into the SUV, pushing it into another car and damaging them both. The pickup driver then fled the scene in spite of the fact that an SUV driver had clearly witnessed the collision. Kai told us his dad's vehicle was totaled and their insurance also had to pay for the damage to the other car. Kai asked for help identifying the hit-and-run driver, but that might be tough considering the license plate can't be read. If only enhancing security cam footage was as simple as they make it look in the movies. Here comes another multi-vehicle collision, this one caused by a driver who wasn't paying attention to the stopped traffic ahead of her. After rear-ending a black vehicle, she proceeded to push it into the vehicle ahead of it. When first responders arrived, our submitter offered the police's security cam footage just in case they needed it to figure out what had happened. Let this be your reminder to pay attention while driving. Don't assume the traffic ahead of you will keep going just because that's the last thing you saw before you started scrolling on your phone. And get off your phone! We're not sure what caused this collision to happen. Watch Dustin's security cam footage, then head to the comments and tell us what you think happened. A white car swerved back and forth before crashing into a fence. Thankfully, it didn't hit any other vehicles, but according to Dustin, a passenger was taken away in an ambulance. It didn't take long for police to arrive, and we're hopeful the driver was held responsible for damaging the fence. Dustin said he wants our viewers to support the channel by sending in more footage so we can keep making episodes. Thanks, Dustin. Kevin's sister was carefully backing up her pickup truck, making sure she didn't hit Kevin's car that was parked nearby. Sadly, she was so focused on not hitting Kevin's car that she ended up colliding with the corner of the building behind her, scraping the side of her pickup. Thankfully, Kevin exited the building in style at that exact moment, stopping her from turning in an attempt to leave, which would have resulted in even more damage to the pickup.
Very slow. Forward. Forward. It's working up. Forward.
After straightening out, she was able to go on her way without any further damage. Kevin told us they decided not to repair the truck, as doing so would have cost $2,500 or more. He's just glad he came outside just in time to help his sister. We're sure she also appreciated it, but Kevin didn't tell us how she felt about him sending us this security cam footage. What a great brother. Time for some cute cam. Hannah sent us this footage from her mom's security cam, which frequently records squirrels, opossums, and other local wildlife. This time, it captured a deer provoking a fight with a raccoon. At one point, the raccoon appeared to square off with the deer, but eventually it rethought this course of action before retreating into the woods. Once it was gone, the deer looked around for its next target, perhaps an opossum minding its own business. The video file ended there, so I guess we'll never know who won that little standoff. We love the wildlife sanctuary you've got there, Hannah. Uh-oh, is this another collision involving stopped traffic? Psych! It was only a close call. Sorry about that, but let's keep watching because we're pretty sure there's still a collision in store. Psych again. This time, a pickup had to leave its lane to avoid smashing into another vehicle. Daneby heard the tires squealing while he was out in his front yard. That's 2 close calls in under 2 minutes. Yikes! Okay, enough teasing. Time for another collision. This one is a semi-truck versus a tree branch. Score 1 for the semi, but the branch got the last laugh. After the driver fled the scene, depositing the branch in someone's lawn, they called the police. See how the trucker is driving over the line? Police didn't care for that, and they cited him for distracted driving after catching up to him later on. Tim was waiting out a stormy day when he heard a loud gust of wind followed by a crack and a crash. Let's take a look at what happened. A dead tree came down right next to Tim's father's snowplow, causing minor damage to its side. Tim told us it could have been much worse, as that's the exact spot his mother's car is usually parked. Thankfully, she was gone at work at the time, so her vehicle was spared. It's crazy how fast a dead tree can come down if conditions are right. We're glad Tim was safe inside the house. This submission from Shauna is just frustrating. She'd left some dog toys out for a stranger to come pick up for free one afternoon. Let me be very clear, Shauna was giving these dog toys away for free. When the lady arrived to pick them up, she also decided to help herself to a package Shauna had left to be picked up by her mail carrier. The thief wasted no time grabbing everything she could and fleeing the scene. Shauna filed a police report, and the culprit was quickly identified after Shauna made a social media post. She's now waiting to hear back from the detective who's handling her case. I guess getting dog toys for free wasn't enough. Steven also received some visitors at his front door, but thankfully, they didn't steal anything. In fact, they came to deliver some Christmas cheer.
Go ahead.
Christmas, I give you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away.
After enjoying the group's Christmas carols, Steven decided to help them out with some musical accompaniment by firing up the holiday light show on his Tesla. He told us they loved it, and so do we. Watch this episode to see a Dodge Charger destroy some trash cans in front of a Christmas light display. Or watch this episode to see more criminals getting caught by the cops, and we'll see you again soon.
Wham Bam, we got a Patreon man. Please support the show.